30th November 2020 is not only St Andrew's Day, but it's Wiping the Slate Clean Day in Scotland. It is the day when many people will see their criminal record become spent. It will help people to lose the label and find work. When convictions are spent, they become sensitive information. You don't need to tell employers about spent convictions, and they should not ask you about spent convictions unless you're applying for a certain type of work. The good news is that most convictions in Scotland will now become spent much more quickly than they used to, so you might have less to disclose than you think. Most community orders will be spent after 1 year, so as long as the order is complete, this used to be 5 years. So if you're on an order or if you are in recovery and have convictions, then potentially you have a goal to work towards. Prison sentences still take a long time to become spent, but a sentence of 4 years or less will become spent much sooner than before. If you were under 18 years old when you were convicted, then the disclosure period is shorter. If you have a conviction for a more serious crime, then it might have been tried under a solemn procedure and there would have been a jury at the trial. If your solemn conviction is unspent, then this can keep other convictions unspent. Confused? Then ask for help. A basic disclosure from Disclosure Scotland costs £25, and this will show you exactly what is unspent on your record. Some employers ask you to provide this before you start work with them. Being called an offender or ex-offender or criminal or prisoner or perpetrator is dehumanising. These labels oversimplify problems and miss out important details about your experiences in the world. They should be avoided wherever possible, yet they are still overused and have negative long-term effects. Words like offender also damage the way you see yourself. They can stop you moving on. All human beings are much more than one label. Once your convictions are spent, they are then classified as sensitive information. Nobody has the right to ask you for details about your spent conviction unless there are exceptional circumstances, like you want to become an accountant or a care worker. If your convictions are spent, then this means you have made your way out of the criminal justice system and nobody has the right to call you an offender anymore. We all know the criminal justice system is a bit like a disease. Once you catch it, then it's really hard to get rid of it because punishment is seldom good medicine. Too often, punishment actually holds you back from making the changes that you want to make in your life. However, lots of people still have convictions to disclose. If you have had a prison sentence of over 4 years, then this will never become spent, but you will still want to move on with your life. You will still want a job. So, if you do need to disclose a conviction, then first of all, get help, because it really is hard to find the right words to describe what really happened and to know your rights. Most people who try to disclose their conviction on their own make big mistakes. You should be aware of the 5 A's. Anxiety about disclosure creates avoidance, apathy, and anger, but you need to be assertive about your past. The first anxiety is avoidance. Potentially 2 out of 3 people who initially tick the criminal record box on an application fail to complete the application. Also, lots of people avoid applying for jobs where there is a criminal record tick box on the application. Lying is another type of avoidance. Most recruiters will struggle to give you a job when they find out you have lied. You should remember that good employers are often willing to give you a chance so long as you have the right skills for the job and you disclose honestly and assertively. Some employers train their staff with the Recruit with Conviction model of best practice, and Release Scotland is a network of employers which recognises the importance of jobs for people with convictions. The second anxiety is apathy. It was just, I only, it was nothing really, but it is something. Even if you've been a victim of a much worse crime yourself, then you still need to take responsibility for the harm you've caused others. The third anxiety is anger at having to disclose something which you don't see as relevant to your life anymore, especially if this happened a long time ago or if you have made a lot of changes in your life. Apex and Aloha can help you to figure out what you need to disclose and when to disclose it, and most importantly, how to disclose it honestly and assertively so that you can get a job and keep it. Remember, you're not on your own. 1 in 5 adults in Scotland has at least one criminal conviction, and that does not include low-level driving offences. Having a criminal conviction should not stop you from accessing employment or further education opportunities. Knowing your rights and having the appropriate support and guidance is essential to achieving whatever it is you want to do. If you have problems with substance use, then there are support groups like Forth Valley Recovery Community and services like Change, Grow, Live which can help you. Clackmannanshire Citizens Advice Bureau can help with problems you might have with housing, debt or benefits. More employment and training support is available from Clacks Works and Addiction Support and Counselling. There are lots of other local groups, activities and volunteering which you could access through Clackmannanshire Third Sector Interface. Changes to disclosure are part of something called community justice. It aims to involve everybody to inform the kind of changes which stop offending, support victims and to make Scotland the safest country in the world. Your experience probably gives you some really good ideas about other changes to help other people. Resilience Learning Partnership is a group of people who have experienced various traumas and they are influencing change in services. They also have a trauma-informed employment and education project which might interest you. Your rights are not always clear, but you should be clear about your rights. Ask for help if you need it. So, if you have a spent conviction date in your future, then set it as a goal, and when you reach that date, celebrate it with your family and friends and wipe the slate clean.